Now, the rise in India's trade deficit could be one of the reasons behind the fall in the rupee. In October, the trade deficit nearly touched $27 billion due to soaring imports. In a bid to reverse this trend, the government has asked ministries to curb the import of non-essential items. Sapna Das joins us now with more details. Sapna, this is clearly a worry that the government is hoping to fix.
Absolutely. In fact, just a small aside, what we are given to understand is that probably even for the next financial year, many of the top ministries, the economic ministries, are considering the trade deficit as a major challenge to be tackled even in the coming financial year, and that, I suppose, has already started in some way. So if you look at the H1 and up to the October data, it's pretty worrying. Your October exports were actually a negative 8%, wherein your October imports grew by almost 16%, and even year on year, if you look at it, imports are up by almost 42%. Your export growth is just barely around 20%. So the red flags from various the red flag has to come out at some point or the other. Having said that, these are clear instructions given to all the line ministries, which are basically importing more of the non-essential stuff. And they are being told that some remedial measures have to be taken, and the line ministries in line, or rather in their turn, have also communicated this down to the industry, because ultimately the decisions have to be taken by the industry. Now, what these remedial measures could be, there is not too much of clarity at the moment, but I suppose this would mean some kind of cutback on the quantum of exports, the quantum of imports. If not, some action to be taken by the government at some point in time, like for example, increasing import duties somewhere, but they'll have to make sure that it is not going to impact their exports, like that happened for the steel sector. They had to actually roll back most of the duties imposed because the steel exports were suffering, and that's exactly what the government is talking about, that line ministries will also have to take care of pushing forward on the export front. So this is what it is as of now. We'll be keeping a close watch on this, and you'll have to keep a watch as to what really comes out, and maybe if some further action is likely to be taken in the coming budget.
All right, Sapna, appreciate you joining us. In fact, staying with that story, based on that import alert list that Sapna was mentioning, the Aviation Ministry has written to the DGCA, the National Aerospace Laboratories, and various industry chambers. The ministries asked them to recommend measures to contain the surge of import of non-essential items. The ministry's letter has highlighted a 56.5% surge in the imports of aircraft between April to September as compared to the same period last year. Imports of turbojets surging by 34%, while helicopters surged by nearly 42%. Well, I don't know if you can qualify these as non-essential, because given the capacity constraints the Indian aviation sector is facing, as well as the rise in demand and traffic, most airlines at this point in time are looking at leasing aircraft. Indigo, Air India, to name a few, have already started to lease additional aircraft to meet the kind of demand that we are seeing.